I did not have this video in mind. In fact, I wanted to keep boss clips saved for a review on the DLC's bosses as a whole, but when I fought against Gaius, I knew I had to upload this. Long story short, he is broken. There is one thing in Elden Ring that I haven't noticed in other Souls games, and that's how bosses tend to start the fight with one move mostly, to cut distance between them and the player. Mesmer does the fireball dish with a side of explosive madness. The Putrescent Knight does that I wish you were Leonard combo. The Erdtree avatar throws some roots at you, which doesn't cut any distance, it just makes the boss a piece of ranged shit with an inconsistent jump timing. But that one can be considered a skill issue, I guess. What cannot be solved with a better gaming chair and leaning forward to increase performance is Gaius' charge attack. I literally could feel a got hit by a boar 10-minute compilation just with my clips. This boss fight makes Dark Souls 2's disgusting pursuer grab hitboxes seem fair. It makes me watch those fake-ass mobile phone game ads and think, damn, I wish I was playing Hero Wars instead. Look at this absolute cum stain of a move and tell me if it's fair.
What?
You cannot evade it consistently unless you are using a tool-assisted speedrun to make frame-perfect rolls, because if you don't wait until his boar's snout is at point-blank range away from you to press roll, you'll get hit by his cheeks, and I'm not talking about the front ones. Just look at this. Running away from it on horseback is not always reliable either, because at the end of his charge he does an attack that seems to track torrent even if you are airborne, as you can see in the background footage. Christ's sake, you can jump over him and he'll put FaZe Clan trick shooters to shame by doing a 180 spin to track you and hit you.
Instant replay, please.
However, it can be evaded more often with proper timing, unlike doing it while standing on your own 2 feet, which seems to be more random than a slot machine. And what the hell is up with that? He completely went through my projectile. Trust me, it did not end right before the impact. He went through it. Not only he wipes his ass with our iframes, but also he has some iframes of his own. If that was not enough, the damage fluctuation is also insane. Sometimes it reduces less than half of your health, and other times he leaves you a nail away from death. I need to understand why though. Visually there is no difference. It is the same attack after all. A minor detail that I would also like to see changed is how he doesn't need to charge up to go to second phase. When a boss starts showing his ki for the sake of being a show-off, it's an oh shit moment for the player, but also an opportunity to heal or to get some damage. Here, he just skipped his theatrical, screaming performance and said, "Fuck it, you need to die," when I was lashing out at him expecting him to make his scream to go into second phase. And you might say, but the devs made it that way so you don't kill him without experimenting his second phase. I couldn't care less about it. He just gains a few more gravitational skills and that flying tornado into a landing. His charge also does much more damage, so for me that's a no-no. He's no German gazing at the moon, charging his ki, releasing it in an explosion while the track moves on to the quad. He is just a hog rider who screams and when he gets mad with a recycled track from Commander O'Neill and Niall from the base game. It doesn't end here, of course not. Last but not least, he also has one of those new features introduced in Elden Ring, where if you get hit by a move, the next one will also connect. In fighting games, this will be called a natural combo, where you have to eat both hits if the first one connects. And yes, I am talking about that 8-hit combo he has. You can either run away with your horse, but if you are too close, you have no time for that. Or you can get lucky with your dodges because the window between the first 2 hits is very small and the wind-up for the following ones are not reactable. You need to build muscle memory for this one. The telegraphing is really bad, I must say, mainly because it feels unnatural. He is too fast for a man of his size riding a freaking boar. Looking at the rest of his moveset, it is not that bad. Most attacks have a decent dodge window, or the telegraphing is well done. Some can even be evaded without dodging. It feels good to roll out of that bullet charge, or that landing that creates a gravitational magic earthquake around him. The timing to avoid his standard sword slashes is very forgiving. You only need to be careful with the follow-up, which he can cancel or commit to it and catch greedy players trying to punish him after 2 hits. His projectiles are more of an annoyance to complicate your healing rather than a tough move to evade, and that's also cool. You have to carefully pick the right moment to chug your Crimson Tears. Maybe the boar kick can be a bit annoying when you get glued to its rear. Imagine dodging out of an attack successfully, punish his rear, but since the attack comes out rather quick, it will get you sometimes. It is a good addition nonetheless, since it breaks with the typical From Software formula of hug the boss's back and just let attacks fly in the older titles. Summarizing, he needs fixing because he is much faster than Torrent, which makes horse battling non-viable since it is excruciatingly hard to get a hit without trading. Gyobu was a nice mounted fight because Wolf had the means to close gap without exposing himself too much, whereas our Tarnished cannot take the offensive, just wait and pray for him not to start a charge. Speaking of which, the charge needs to be nerfed. Either made faster so he blows by you quicker, which lessens the probability of getting hit by his legs even when you've dodged through his whole upper body, or make the hitbox belong to his upper torso mostly, again to lessen the likelihood of getting struck by his fucking thigh. If any of these ideas get implemented, I think the fight will be much more enjoyable. Let's hope From Software does something soon because his existence is tainting the overall boss quality in this DLC, considering how most of them are awesome to fight against. Except for you, Golden Hippo. I do not support NPC reskins as a boss, even if they have a second phase. Had it been placed in a jail, it would have been fine. Getting to fight it in Mesmer's home is beyond my boss placement understanding. See you in the next one, comrades.